Good to meet you. Pamela, right?
It's good to meet you,
I'm
too.
Paul. I'm
Yes,
local
Paul.
here, too. I live in Hillsboro.
Great.
So you might see my kids and my wife walking around at some point.
Great.
So,
I see my kid walking around.
Yeah? Your son's here? Or?
My daughter, one of my daughters is exhibiting.
Oh, cool. What are they exhibiting?
They have a card and etc. pottery company called Creature Camp Studio.
Oh, cool.
And it's an inclusive line of cards.
Cards like greeting cards.
Like greeting cards, and they're different than others because they represent just good feelings, encouraging feelings.
Cool.
And they also represent people who aren't physically perfect.
Gotcha.
And there are a lot of us out there. So
Inclusive.
It's very inclusive, and it's from the heart.
Very cool.
So it's very wonderful. I'm very proud.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so what belief do you want to talk about?
I want to believe in my belief is that women are whole human beings who deserve all the rights of all the people who are on this earth. So they should be equal to men in terms of their rights.
Okay, so you believe that women, let me just rephrase this, make sure I understand.
It was a little clumsy.
No, it's totally fine. That women and men are equal?
Women and men, it's human rights, basically is what I'm trying to say. I believe in human rights. I believe in rights of all people to be equal, yes.
Okay, awesome. That sounds like a good claim.
Yeah.
And I guess how...
seems to be difficult for some people to fathom.
That all people are equal?
Yes.
Okay. And how confident are you in this belief on a scale of like 1 to 7?
7 being the most
confident. 1 meaning I have very little confidence in it, I'm full of doubt, and 7 meaning I'm absolutely certain.
7.
Okay, 7. And how important is it to you to believe in things that are true?
Well,
on the same scale, 1 to 7. 1 is like, it's not that important to me. 7 is I only want to believe in true things. And if it's not true, okay.
7.
Gotcha. Okay. So you want to believe in true things,
Sure.
and this is something that you believe in really strongly about. Okay. And again, let me just make sure I understand the belief. It's that everyone on the earth is equal.
Everyone should have equal rights.
Equal rights. So do you disagree with what I just said, that everyone is equal?
Well, what is equal?
You tell me. Yeah.
I think everybody should have the same rights.
Okay.
I don't think everybody, I mean, how you're judging people, that's where I need to know specifics. I don't think that somebody who is evil is equal in what would the word be? I don't see an evil person the same as I see a good person. So I see them not as equal people in my eyes. But I do believe that people should have equal rights.
So regardless of, let me make sure I'm saying this right. So regardless of kind of
this is complicated when you really think about it.
Yeah, no. So like regardless of kind of the decisions that we make, whether they be good or evil as you're kind of classifying them, people should have the same rights regardless of that, and regardless of any other kind of classification or aspect of us.
Yes, and if somebody is awful and has connections, they don't deserve more freedom to do what they want to do. They should have equal rights to anybody else.
Now, when you say equal rights, what do you mean by that?
I mean that as a person, if there's a law, everybody should have to follow it.
Should what? Sorry.
Everyone should have to follow. This is getting very complicated. I see what you mean. Yes, I just think that everybody, every person, every human should have the right to be who they are.
To be who they are.
Of course, now that I said that,
that's totally fine.
If someone is, a murderer, no, they don't have the right to do that. So I would think everybody has the right to be who they are without infringing upon someone else's rights.
Okay. So you're, just make sure I understand correctly, your belief is that as long as people are acting in a way that doesn't affect other people's rights adversely, then they should have the right to do what they want to do?
Yes.
Okay. And when you say rights, is there any kind of kind of core rights that you are referring to? Is rights meaning anything specific to you?
It means not infringing upon someone else's life in an adverse way.
Okay. And how do you define, like, if it's adverse? Is that from
If
their
it's
opinion?
hurtful.
Like, if someone believes that it's adverse from their opinion, they feel that it's an adverse, then that's how you would classify if it's an adverse outcome?
It's a very good question. I guess, well, yes, this is this is much
I think
different.
no.
This is great because it seems so simple, but then dissecting it, it is difficult to express.
Totally. No, I feel the same way about a lot of the aspects
Wow.
of my life.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody has a right to infringe on someone else's rights to be who they are. If somebody goes past the boundaries of their own life and interferes with someone's life in a negative way,
Okay.
I don't think that's acceptable. If I punched you in the nose and thought that punching someone in the nose was okay, I would still be wrong because I'm affecting you in a negative way.
Okay. So let's say, like, theoretically, that there's a scenario where someone is affected in a way that they're comfortable with, but it violates kind of the law. Would you say that that's a violation of rights or not a violation of rights?
Well, laws aren't rights,
Okay.
and I don't believe in all the laws.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So, somebody made the laws, and I don't agree with all of them, but then some of those laws affect me in a negative way, infringe upon my freedoms. For instance, abortion rights.
Right.
Nobody has the right to tell me what to do with my own body. And also, well, I won't go off on that tangent.
So is there a scenario that you could imagine where your belief would be lowered from, like, a 7 to a lower number? Is there any scenario where you feel like your belief could change?
I'd be open to talking with someone if they had an issue and wanted to discuss it. But basically, I just think that, I've gone through so many changes in life and phases and done so much thinking and trying to grow and become the best person I can be. And it's funny how things are so complicated when you're younger. And as you live, if you keep, at least I think, if you keep up with things and keep working and keep growing, it actually becomes much more simple.
Yeah.
And the simple truth for me is what my father taught me. So you come back around. When I was young, I asked him what being Jewish meant because I didn't know. I was very young. And he said, you be a good person, you get a good education, you help your family, and then you help others. And I take that as my way of being in life. I think it's a good way to be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in there about hurting someone or stepping on someone or using someone or throwing someone away. It's just be a good person.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that doesn't always happen. So there are all these little quirks in belief systems, but I hold on to that as well as I can.
Cool.
And I try to live that way as much as I can. And when I can't, I apologize when I am told that that wasn't the right thing to do, and I use it as a learning, because we're all learning all the time.
Totally, yeah.
Nothing is set in stone. So yes, when you say 7, I would like to believe that I could do that, but nobody's perfect. And I'm sure I falter, and I'm not like above being petty and that kind of stuff sometimes, but I try not to. So my goal is a 7.
So I guess, is it safe to assume then that what you were taught, how you were raised, is kind of the reason that you believe what you believe?
That's the way I was raised, and also I watched. I was very quiet and introverted.
You watch.
And I would just watch people.
People, okay.
And I saw that what my father said was something that was really valuable. And so I aspired to that.
So let's say, theoretically, you've got Tammy, who's this person, hypothetical person, and they're raised in a family with a
Uh-huh.
father,
Uh-huh.
siblings, and their father taught them the opposite. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that it's important just to look out for yourself.
Uh-huh.
That your own rights are the
I
only
know,
important
Tammy.
thing. um,
Uh-huh.
and so if I talked to Tammy, she would say the reason I believe this is
Uh-huh.
because my dad taught me
Sure.
this. I felt that it was the right thing.
Sure.
So if I'm here and I'm looking at you and I'm looking at Tammy and you're
Uh-huh.
telling me kind of the same impetus for your beliefs,
Sure.
like how do I determine which belief is the right belief to have?
It's up to you.
What do you mean?
You have to decide. Nobody can tell you what to decide.
Well, what factors do you think I should weigh in determining what belief is the right belief to hold, or which, not necessarily right, but which one is the true belief? Do you believe that there is a true belief in this scenario?
No.
Okay.
Everybody has their, I mean, there are as many truths as there are people. And then some, because a lot of people are conflicted. There's no universal anything.
Do you feel like there's any universal truths on any aspects of life, or just some aspects are universal and some aspects aren't?
No. I have very strong views about life. I can't see, because if I did that, then I'd be imposing and infringing on you. And
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah,
against
yeah.
my belief.
Gotcha.
You can believe anything you want, but if you go past that boundary of my safety, then that's not okay. I can't tell you what to believe, nor
Gotcha.
would I want to.
Would you, I guess, is it, you have beliefs though
Uh-huh.
that you believe are true
They're true for me.
for you.
Uh-huh.
So do you feel like those things would not be true for other people then?
Well, I know they aren't, because I see other people's behavior, and
So-
it doesn't align with some of my beliefs.
Gotcha. So are you then, I guess maybe an important clarification would be how you define the word true.
Mm-hmm.
Do you define it as like effective, or as like true in the sense of like it's literally true, false, kind of tangible, physical, correct? Like, because it feels sometimes like a little bit like you're saying, like it could be true to someone in the sense that it works for them. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Not so much works, because that's convenient. I think life is difficult, and you have to do the work.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't believe in, for me, I don't believe that if it's convenient, then I'll believe this way. If it's not, I'll believe that way. I just think I have a belief system that is right for me, and that's what I try to stay true to. So in terms of truth, that's my truth.
Gotcha.
How true I can be to that belief system.
And what if, is there a scenario where you could imagine where you would feel more confident that this is the right belief to hold?
I don't need that, because I know. I think. I weigh things.
So
So
when you-
everything isn't automatic. I mean, if I see something, I'll think about it, and I'll figure out my belief in that particular moment. There isn't a right and wrong. Life is way too complicated for that, and
Gotcha.
it's too simplistic.
So this has been really awesome. Thank you. So I guess just by kind of,
Do you have a headache too?
no, I not at all. Like I just think it's really cool. I love the way that you like talk through your beliefs, and
Well, thanks.
I think it's really cool. I guess my last question would be: is it important for you to believe, for people to believe what you believe in any way?
No. It's none of my business how somebody else believes. That would be totally antithetical to what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't have to deal with those people if I am fortunate enough to have choices. A lot of people don't have choices because they are not in a position to be able to say no to anyone.
Totally.
And so it's a privilege to be able to have choices and make choices, and I'm very grateful for that, and I don't take it for granted. And so every day it's like everything is a choice. How I'm going to behave. Am I going to hold the door for somebody? Am I going to smile at somebody? Am I going to help somebody? Those are all really important choices, because they are part of connecting in a positive way with other people. And it's amazing how a little thing like that can make someone feel so much better. And I don't think there's enough of that in the world.
Great. Anything else you wanted to add? or any
I think
questions
you did a
for me?
fabulous job.
Thank you.
I really do. 'Cause I can be a little obtuse, so you did
No,
really
not
well.
at all. No, I thought it
You
was
did
awesome.
great.
Thank
so
you
thank
so
you.
much.
It was
yeah.
very comfortable.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That was awesome, Paul. That was so awesome.
There's some things I
We'll talk.
wish I could do
We'll talk,
again.
but that is really good. I mean, first of all, the rapport, boom, automatically, and just the way you ask the questions, just by you asking, I mean, this is the magic of what we're doing here, is that just by you asking the questions, she was thinking it through. And regardless of the question, really, I mean, she started like, wait, does that make sense? And she was thinking it through. And that's part of what it's all about, I think. So I think that was awesome, really. And I thought your questions were really good. I liked how you ended it too. I think you're a natural. I do. It was a really hard claim, and we didn't talk about this. We should have.
Yeah, there's times where I felt like maybe we should have picked something else.
Well, no, that's what you wanted to talk about. That's fine. But what we didn't talk about is it was a normative claim.
Yeah.
That most of the claims we've discussed is
Specific things.
yeah, is the earth round or flat? We might not know the answer, but we're going to presume that there is an objective answer out there somewhere. With normative claims, things get a little more murky because it depends on what the claim is, right?
Yeah.
And it could be a preference claim, like, I think vanilla is the best ice cream of all and it beats chocolate any day of the week. Well, it's a preference claim, and you can have a confidence level
more
on
into
that.
a preference claim.
But this wasn't a preference claim. This was a values claim.
Yeah.
You know, that this is a higher value to have, as opposed to another set of values, right?
Yeah.
Or these ethical standards are better as a person to hold, or as a society to hold, as these ethical standards. And so the questioning is, SE can be done, it's done the same way, but it kind of changes up the way you ask some of the questions. And we'll get into that. I'm pretty sure the way she was talking about truth was that we could all have our own truth.
Yes.
And that's a very common thing. So when someone talks about that, we really need to talk about what they mean about having their own truths.
Like, those kinds of conversations are one I just enjoy generally.
Right.
So I was happy just to kind of talk to her about how she processes the world.
I get it, man. I get the same way.
But it wasn't probably the most like SE by the book. I wish I could guide this into a more traditional SE approach.
Well, I'm not the god of SE, but I'm thinking it's SE, so from my perspective, it's
well, that's good, I guess.
You know, it's you know, I'm not, you know, we debate what kind of things need to be met in order to call it an SE conversation, but pretty darn SE to me.
Cool.
So that was awesome. Cool.
Yeah, so we need somebody else.